July 8, 2023. Ukraine war, approximately 9 years and 5 months since the invasion of Crimea. Day 500 of Special Putin's operations. Big picture. Ukraine marks at least 2 notable advances. Russia has stepped up Air Force bombing attacks against Ukraine. Zelensky visited Snake Island to lay a wreath. Turkey assisted in a prisoner transfer and has allowed the return of Azov commanders to Ukraine. Dnieper Line. Kherson endured nearly 490 projectiles onto the right bank. Ukraine's Ministry of Health is reporting that parasites have contaminated soils flooded by the destruction of the Novokakhovka Dam. Residents are warned to avoid drinking from wells that were contaminated, fruits and vegetables that were submerged or growing in contaminated soils, and the soils themselves. Zaporizhzhya Front. Ukraine is reporting that the enemy was forced to withdraw another 2 kilometers south of Ravnopil. An Iranian drone impacted in Zaporizhzhya city. Heavy shelling in the east. East Front, Donetsk. Heavy shelling here as well. Attacks continued in Mariinka. Russia attacked the village of Nevelska west of Donetsk and the town of Karamik north of Avdiivka. Bakhmut Area. Heavy shelling well behind the Ukrainian line. Ukraine appears to have pushed another 500 yards at Klishchivka. The Kremlin appears to be attempting to close a pocket along the rail line northeast of Soledar. Oskil border front. Kremlin artillery and missile strikes killed 8 and wounded 13 in Lyman. Multiple infantry attacks by the Kremlin north of Svatov along the H-26 northern border. At least 7 different points were shelled multiple times over the last 24 hours, with no reports of casualties. A sizable contingent has been gathered in Belgorod, so it is unlikely that Russian Liberation Army will be able to make further headway in that oblast. Black Sea. Zelensky visited Snake Island to lay a wreath. The Kremlin started a new security district in Mariupol to counter Ukrainian partisans. Ukraine world-related. Yesterday the Pentagon agreed to send $800 million in weapons and weapons systems. The Kiel Institute confirmed that Ukraine is showing well with what they have, despite the delivery of only half of the weapons that have been pledged by certain NATO members having been delivered. Turkey and Ukraine are in discussion for the self-propelled T-155 Front artillery system. We aim to bring more. Like and subscribe.